Hello, viewers. This is Framework for the Family. I'm Bomani Tyhimba. I'm here with my co-host Zeke Adams.
What's up?
And we're going to continue with some topics. Today we're going to, before we get into the topics that we're going to discuss today, we want you to subscribe to our podcast, hit that like button, and leave some comments. And I'm not sure which episode we're in, but we're into the double digits.
Yes, we are. I think we're at episode 21.
21.
Yeah,
that's a good number.
It
21
is.
blackjack. So today we're going to talk about dating with children.
Yeah. And the last episode, we're coming from actually the effects of children.
The effects of divorce on the children.
Yes.
And now we're going to sort of rewind and go back to dating where the couples have children.
Yeah, have children. You know, how in today's society, how do we date either with children or people that might have children? Okay. What does that look like? And we have some interesting topics, don't we?
Yeah, we have some interesting topics. But everything, no matter how our focus is to provide some good advice, solutions. We may not always agree, but our heart is in structuring situations and environments where you can get something from it to live your life and be successful.
Yeah, and it opens up conversation. I think that's what the core of Framework for the Family is, to help the dialogue and talking with each other in whatever topics that we have. If you're dealing with something, this is a show that is going to just give you some input on what you're dealing with. And for you to be open, not only with the person that you're talking to, your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend, but with yourself.
Right.
Is this something that I should be in right now? Or is this something in relationship I need to change to be better?
Right.
So this opens up a lot of conversations piece. And
it'll be a time for self-analysis.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to let you kick it off, since you brought this topic to Framework for the Family. Dating with children.
Yeah.
Take it away, Z.
I'm going to take it away. So, in dating with children, I brought up a conversation piece with Bomani, and how to deal with the complexity of a family that is already made.
Okay.
That's pre-made.
All right.
Now
this could be the husband with children.
Yes.
Dating a female with children. It could be, or it could be either one of them could have children and the other one don't have children. So we can take it from a lot of different perspectives.
Yes, we can.
If it's just the woman who has children and the man does not have children. So we're going to bring up all those different scenarios as we discuss it, because it's a multiple different ways to approach this subject.
Yeah. So in dating, what you're looking at is a already made family or an already made family. Some of the things that, in talking with people about this particular subject, even in my own life, it depends on how the children are well behaved.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the structure that the person might have with the other party of the children. That means the biological mother or father.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important about that role of how they deal with the biological parents deal with themselves, and you as a non-biological parent that's coming in. How does that affect the children?
Mm-hmm.
Affect the household? So we're starting off on dating.
Dating with children.
Dating with children. So let me ask you a question, Bomani.
You gonna ask me a question?
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Is there anything wrong, or would you see a problem with someone dating with children? Now, I'm gonna give you the reason why I'm asking that question is that would you advise someone to date with children?
Okay.
If they're saying, "Hey, I have a situation. This person has a child, and I realize that the other person's biological parent is not really cooperating with the person that I'm dating. There's some riffraff in there. Should I be concerned about that?"
Oh, well, since you frame it that way, absolutely, you should be concerned, because there's going to be some situations that come up where there may be some friction, and it could be some friction. In that situation, I would want to know what the position is, the person I'm dating, how they're going to handle it. I would want them to.
So you expect for them to handle that situation with the other biological, the mother.
Okay.
I mean, with the father.
Well, okay. So now we're talking about I'm a man, or the situation is that a man is coming to you and saying, "Hey, I'm about to enter into this dating with this woman. She has children, and the father of the children is having some difficulty with us coming together."
Well, they're having friction on the actual rearing of the children.
Okay, they have some friction on the rearing of the children.
And I see this, and should I be concerned about this friction?
Okay. Well, I would say, I would say it depends. Wow, you looked at the camera like, what is he talking about?
This is why we might not be disagreeing on this topic.
Why we might not be, or why we are.
Some areas. You're saying it depends.
I think
I
it
want to
depends.
hear what
I think it depends. I think first of all, if I'm dating, okay, if I'm dating, the first relationship that was before me was that woman and that man, and they had children, and now she's single, divorced, or what have you, but she's single. Okay, however the situation of her being single came from, whether it's divorced or what have you. Let's say I'm going to, for the purpose of this discussion, I'm going to say it really doesn't matter. The thing is that there's friction between the two parents, about
the biological
parents about raising their children, rearing their children. And I would say the first, it depends, because those parents need to work that stuff out apart from me, because I'm dating her. I'm not married to her. I'm dating her. And even where is our level of dating? Is it serious? Or am I even taking on some of the roles? I don't want to say some of the roles, but we're getting serious.
This person wouldn't come and ask that question if they didn't see value in the relationship. So yes, I would say it's on a more serious level
situation, and
they're seeing friction with the biological parents, and they're seeing a unequally yoked situation where they're how they behave might be concerning, and they're coming to you and saying, "Should I be concerned about this problem?" And you said. It depends.
I said it depends, and it depends. Well, it depends.
I choked him up, guys.
Yeah, so. You did choke me up, because
he's struggling right now.
I'm not struggling. There's a lot of dynamics that goes into me framing this answer. Okay, are we serious to the point where we're on the path to marriage?
They're talking to you,
and we're on the path to marriage, or am I just dating her? So let's just, okay. No, I think it does matter. Okay. Let's take the scenario we're dating, and we're headed towards marriage. I'm serious about this woman. I'm to the point where I'm almost proposing to her. We've talked about, coming together as husband and wife, and she has children. I should be concerned. Sure,
I think
definitely should be concerned, and there needs to be some boundaries set. Now, if he's disrespecting her, as the man, I'm her protector, and so I'm going to be her protector. So if there's some friction that comes where it's threatening her peace of mind or what have you, and even yes, you should be concerned, but you still have to be in that role of the protector of this woman that you're dating, who you are headed towards a marriage. So yes, you should be concerned.
So that would be different from a person that is with someone that do not have children. They wouldn't even have that type of
right. It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't, because there's no parent that exists.
Yeah.
Just the whole, not so much the whole, but the situation that's happening is, I framed it as they were divorced. So this is a situation where the woman and the man were previously married. Now they're divorced, and now there's some friction between those two about the rearing of the children or what have you. Whatever that friction is with the children, and both of them have rights to making sure they're in raising their children,
making sure they're safe.
So the fallout is really from the divorce, because they wouldn't be in this situation had there not been a divorce. And it goes back to God hating divorce.
There you go.
Because this is an instance that can just muddy the waters of you seeking a new person in your life. It's the fallout.
So, and what he just said about this topic, and with the question I just asked him, I'm going to piggyback on what he said. I really do think, is it in your best interest, since you know that, whether you're divorced and you're dating someone who's also divorced, or you got kids, they got kids, do you want to put yourself in a situation where you have to be a protector in a situation that you don't have to be in? That means that if the parents are not getting along and they're disrespecting one another and things are happening, the children are involved, do you want to put yourself in that relationship to become a part of that negative product? I would say, if a person came to me and said, hey, should I be concerned? I would say definitely. Because first of all, you definitely should figure out if the biological parents are having a relationship that is healthy enough for you to date this person. Okay? Because just like Bomani said, it's going to bleed over, and you might be in an area where you thought you might not be. Whether it's a protector. The next question I have for you is, let's just say...
No, before you go there.
Oh, you want to add on to that?
Before you go there.
Go ahead.
Just before you go there. So, you're saying, well, not so much you're saying, the way you described it is almost, you have to know whether or not you're willing to step into that situation.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You're not saying, hey, don't step in that situation. You should recognize that this could happen if you're in that situation. Mm-hmm. And if you're okay with it, just keep in mind that these things can
going to happen. Yes.
Right. It's not saying, you're not saying, hey, in other words, don't date somebody who has children. You're not saying that.
I'm not saying that. And the question is, should I be concerned?
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And I said, yes, you should be concerned.
And knowing that what could happen when you make that decision to continue, just know that the situation could come up. Mm-hmm. As I said, what was the other day we were talking about some stuff? I said, life be life.
Life be life.
And that's a real situation of life.
That's a real situation.
Okay, go ahead with your next question.
So let's just say if a person came and said, and I'm always coming from a male point of view, I'm a male, but I try to keep it general. I think it's for the audience so you could see it on both sides. I think if I always come from a male point of view, only the males will see it, right? And the females won't be able to pick up on what I'm saying. So let's say a person came to you and said, "Hey, I was addressed by this girl or this person. Again, this person that I'm dating, I was addressed by the person's child, biological parent, and me and my person, we decided this is how we're going to discipline, the children that are not my biological kids." Stay with me.
Now, this is still dating situation.
This is still dating.
Okay.
And we decide our disciplinary actions will be like this. And I was addressed by the other parent saying, "Don't do this or else there's going to be some consequences."
You come up with some. Okay, go. You come up with some situations right here.
Hey, this is
life
real life.
Life be life.
Hey, don't do this.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
Or else.
Oh
yeah.
Just left it open.
Left it open.
Okay.
And you know what that else is. You know what that else is.
Yes.
And you're looking at the situation, and the person is addressing that, and then obviously I look at it as whatever that disciplinary action is. Both biological parents should have the best interest of their child.
Right.
So that's their biological interest. You come in and you guys form another biological, or not a biological, but you form another interest as two people who are wanting to raise and dating, this child. Okay. And the other biological has a problem with that. Sure. How do you address that?
Oh, man.
And that's a lot. But
that's a lot. Yeah. That's a mouthful. So in the perfect situation, in the dating scenario.
Yeah, because we're still in dating.
You're still in dating. Is to defer, because at that point in time, me personally, I would see that, the biological parents need to work that out. Okay, I'm dating you. And even if it's dating towards marriage, I'm still really dating you. And I'm living in my own household. She's living in her own household.
Yes.
And we get together and we go out, and so the child or children are with both of us, and the child can be says something, or and we've already established what the discipline is going to be.
You explain to her, hey, what? I think, when it comes to what I see and my concerns, I think our disciplinary action should be like this, and she agrees.
Yeah, she agrees.
Or that person agrees, keeping it neutral.
So, okay. In the ideal, perfect world, I would probably want the parent who I'm dating to take care of the discipline, because we're just dating. Because that can diffuse something potentially coming from the other parent, because I got involved in doing it, whether it's a woman or a man.
So what you're saying, you want to take a back seat in dating, not be, if you're dating for a purpose.
Okay.
You're dating for marriage.
Okay, I got it.
You're dating for a goal, and that goal is marriage.
Right.
So you're saying it's okay for her to, or for that person to,
him or her,
the
biological parent,
and for you,
yes,
to take a back seat to how they discipline that kid.
No, I think I would come in agreement. Hey, and it depends on what type of discipline we're talking about too. If it's talking, discussing, because discipline is not just corporal punishment.
No,
discipline can be also, hey, it can even be punishment. Hey, you're on, what is it called now? Timeout. It's not timeout, but you take privileges from them, or you say you can't go outside, or you can't watch TV, or you can't play with your games, or you can't have your cell phone. So there's different levels of discipline. I would say in that situation, even if we are dating towards marriage, I probably would to defer if there's some corporal punishment that needs to be handled. I would say you are the parent. You need to take care of that.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm saying that not to to make an excuse from not doing corporal punishment. It's so because I'm still dating her. I haven't yet married her, or you haven't yet married him. Okay.
Should that change? It would change when you get married.
It would change when I get married, and the reason I'm making that distinction is of the type of discipline, is because then the parent, the other biological parent, does not have any ammunition to say, well, you shouldn't be touching my child, okay? And
what about if the child said, what if you were to, let's say this person.
And I'm talking about an ideal situation too.
I'm talking about real life stuff. So I have to from a man's point of view.
Sure.
And women, you can actually chime in from this. Let's just say you're dating someone, and you guys been dating for a while. You're serious. At the point in time, she's over at your place, or you over at her place. Dinner's being cooked, or you guys are cooking dinner together, and you see that little Johnny is acting up.
Little Johnny's being little Johnny.
Being little Johnny. And, you actually see that, man, I would probably have acted in some type of, let's say, light verbal. Johnny is being Johnny. And you decide to say, you know what, Johnny, it's time for a timeout. Give me your iPad. And the person that you're dating says, me and the biological father, we don't do that.
Who's saying this?
The person you're dating.
The person I'm dating.
You go and take Johnny's iPad, say, Johnny's timeout, you're acting up.
Okay.
And the person you're dating say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry, but me and the biological father have something that we think that's a bad thing.
Sure.
So give Johnny back his iPad.
Give Johnny back his iPad. Well, I ain't giving Johnny back his iPad. Okay.
No, but you said you.
Sure.
You're gonna let her lead, right?
I got
let
that.
the person lead.
I got that.
So, I mean,
and so
what if that scenario came up?
Well, I'm not giving Johnny his little iPad back. Okay.
Okay.
And so, which says to me, if I find out in that situation,
I'm catching him in his statements.
No, I'm not catching. You're not catching me in the statements. Okay. This is a dynamic, fluid situation. There is no right or wrong. There's no one answer that's going to fit every situation.
I agree with that.
And so what that says to me is
there is a right and wrong.
Okay, that's a right and wrong, but there is no one approach that fits every scenario.
You can have multiple angles.
Right. So as you added more description to what was going on, I'm thinking.
I just changed it a little bit.
I got you. I understand. Is that by changing it, you actually exposed something, and what you exposed was me and my person who I'm dating. We never talked about it.
There you go.
Okay. So what that means is you all, in a situation like that, you have to talk about everything. You have to even everything. Okay. Where to the point where you all have already decided these are the things that we are going to do. So it would have never come up where I'm doing something that the other parent and the person I'm dating wouldn't do, because we would have already talked about that. And even if that was something that they wouldn't do, I may have a different opinion. You know what? It's better than me whooping that butt.
Yeah.
Because whooping that butt takes it to another level. Right or wrong, well, there is right and wrong, but that, my approach is, let's take the ammunition out of the hands of your biological, who I got together with. Well, let's say the man, your former husband or former boyfriend. Let's say former husband. Let's take the ammunition out of him from saying you can't. I don't want that dude touching my child.
Or talking to my child.
Okay. Well, talking is one thing, because I'm going to talk.
I mean, or taking my child.
I'm going to talk. Okay. So that's talking is okay.
So if someone came to you,
so hold on. So
okay.
So what I'm saying is, it's important to, if you're dating someone with children, you need to talk about, hey, when it comes to discipline, what are the parameters? What can we agree upon? Okay, what can we agree upon? So if something like this comes up, disrespect, cursing, acting out, all of those things, what is going to be our approach? Together. And yes, and because you are their parent, and you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can assign certain things to me as the person I'm dating with. Say, here's what we're going to do. Okay. So corporal punishment, again, my approach would be to take the ammunition out of the hands of the other parent, the biological parent, because we're already having friction anyway. We're not together, and we're already having friction about how we should be about our parenting.
So there should be some concerns in that.
Oh, back to the original reason where you're in this situation is because of divorce, and God hates divorce because all of those things, whatever scenario that comes up, that can heighten the friction between the biological parents, particularly when they're dating. That's one of the fallouts.
I look at it as when you get married.
Dating, we talking about dating?
Yeah, okay. I look at it as dating. When you're dating, well, I'm gonna jump to marriage.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk about that next time. So let's stay with
dating. Okay, I'll stay with it. When you're dating, let me see if I can rephrase this.
Yeah.
When you're dating with children, I would say that there is a track that's already made, whether it goes right, left, or left to the right. That track, you're going to have to make a new track in dating. Okay. Whether or not the new track that you make, me as being a man and being the head of the household, I have to look at the depth of how those tracks are being made, and can I change those tracks? Okay.
Well, by tracks, what do you mean? The process?
The process, or the way that the family, because if someone is married with children and they get a divorce, they're coming from a whole different track.
Okay, all right. They've already had a lifestyle,
they've already built the track, and you have to either understand that track and say, you know what, I'm comfortable with that track, or if I make a new track, will this be something that it might be too much problems in making a new track with? Because 9 times out of 10, that's what's going to be coming your way. It's going to be a already pre-made track.
Right.
Okay. And if we're dating, I think those are things that should be in concern. Not to say that those things might not happen. Right. It might be just, hey, everybody get along.
Yeah.
But you're dealing with a pre-made family and how you deal with that, and also how that person deals with their children when it comes to God.
Right.
Now, the other thing is that, you're a praying person, and you really care for this person, and you're taking them to Bible study, and she said, or I want you to meet my children.
Okay.
And you guys going to Bible study, and everything's good. You're praying together, and in the morning and night, I'm praying for you, babe. I'm praying for you too, babe. And they take the children. The children don't know anything about prayer. They don't care. And they're in another. I'm gonna throw another one. And they're in another religion.
They're in another religion. Well, before we get to that, let's talk about this situation, because we've sort of put a problem spin on it.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And these are things that you should be aware of. There is another possibility that there is no friction between the
I said that earlier. Yes,
the two parents, and we really haven't addressed that. That if there is no friction between the two parents, you're probably going to have a different approach. I still me personally, this is Bomani's personally, even if there is no friction between the two parents, they're in one accord about raising their children, and their objective is do what's best for the child. I still would defer to corporal punishment to the biological parent. And in this case, it would be a woman, because I'd only be dating women. Okay. Just put that out there right quick.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard for us to try to,
Sure. But the other thing is, let's be clear, even though we come from a Christian perspective, there may be Christian dating situations where both of the families are still in the household, haven't married yet, but now, okay, we're going to be married at some point in time, a year later, 6 months later, whatever the later is, but we have decided to come together and we're both in the household. I think even that scenario would change the way that one would approach discipline from a corporal standpoint. For me, talking about it, non-corporal punishment is different than corporal punishment.
Yeah, so you're talking about the punishment levels.
The punishment levels. So, and also I'm talking about, because some people actually do shack up. They do, right? Even unmarried, whether they're Christian or not. Let's be real.
True, yeah.
So that could be a situation. You're dating with the intent on being married. You haven't married, but you've joined each household together. And whether she has children or whether you have children or you both have children, that situation of child rearing is going to come up. And first and foremost, I would say this: it is best to have a conversation,
yes, with
your dating partner, whether you're living together or whether you're living in separate household, whether the woman that you're dating has children, whether you have children, or whether you both have children, to cut off or to prevent as much as possible future friction, is that you all have to have some conversations together.
Yeah.
You all have to have some conversations together. You have to have some conversations with the children, and each spouse has to have a conversation with their person as well. And hopefully that will head off any type of friction. But as we said before, life
be life.
This has been Framework for the Family, and we've tackled another difficult subject brought by my counterpart, Zeke Adams. He always comes up with this stuff, that causes me to sweat.
I am hearing things about situationships.
Yes.
I talk to people who see the podcast and they're like, hey,
can talk about this.
Yeah. What goes on? Or I'm in a situation where, this is happening, and how do I deal with this? Should I be concerned? Should I feel this way, or should I, do this? And I think what Bomani was stating is exactly, have that communication. This show is for us to open your eyes to what you're going through, and for you to communicate,
right.
and whether it's through a therapist or just in praying together. All these scenarios that we put there might have a negative effect, but there are some people that are able to have a strong relationship in this situation as well, and they're doing well with the kids. But it's for you that, whether you're in this situation or not, have a conversation prior to our next episode, and that is
married with children.
Married
blended families
with a blended family. Yes.
Blended families coming together. So one of the takeaways is communicate.
Yes.
And so that you can head off any potential friction. This is Bomani Tyhemba. I'm here with Zeke Adams. We are the co-host of Framework for the Family, and we've been talking about dating with children. And our next topic will be married with children.
With the blended
family coming together.
Yes.
Yikes. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave your comments, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you the next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.